But they're pretty buoyant. Isn't that part of like knowing your poop too? Is like if it floats or if it sinks or.
That's why I just usually eat lead weights with my meals because it makes everything sink.
Hey, you never know. You could already have lead in there because you take a shit like you would. I mean, it's like you cut your finger and you pour blood on there. You look at the blood, you can't see like the metal in the blood. But yet, you know, if you were to test the blood or if you were to lick the blood, you would taste the iron in your mouth. Or if you were to like test it, you'd be like, oh, there's iron in this blood. But you can't see it, you know. And it's like the other thing. You have the shit in there. It's just sitting there. You're like, there's full of lead. No, dude, there's none. Well, how do you know? Dude, you have to taste blood to taste the lead. You have to taste his poop.
See, I feel like crap right now.
It's poop.
See, I feel like crap right now for saying this, but I did watch a YouTube video of a YouTuber who has like a giant ass rare earth magnet.
He eat poop?
And no, and a lot of people were asking him like, well, there's iron in blood, so does the giant magnet like mess with your blood in your system when you're handling it? And he's like, you know what? That's actually a good question. So he went to a butcher and he got like a 5-gallon drum of pig's blood. And he put it, the way he tested it is he filled up a pool of water, like a big old 20-gallon drum of water, and he put a piece of foam in there, and he put like a shot glass on there, a little like plastic shot glass, and he filled the shot glass with the blood to the rim. So now if he brought the magnet close, you could see it push the cup of blood across the water, right? Because it's not like a floating piece of foam. And he brings it close, and it actually pushes it away.
Oh, really?
And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I didn't think it would do that. And then he figured out later that when the blood it's some sort of, it goes through a chemical process when it's inside of you. The iron isn't activated or some shit. It doesn't work when it's inside of you.
Until it hits
but yeah, when it touches the air, it activates something in there to where it will push the iron inside of your blood. It's kind of like when you cut yourself and you get a scab. It was something weird. I watched it like 6 years ago, but just kidding.
I was kind of curious about that with what is that shit?
You're not a scientist.
And X-Men or whatever. When like the girl like sticks the magnesium or the metal or whatever inside the dude when they're at the bar, who's like the guard for the Magneto, and it goes to the bar and he's like, you got a really high concentrated iron in your blood, and he's like, what? He's like, do you like lifts him up and he's like, ugh! And he's like ripping out all the little bits of iron out of his blood and shit, and it creates about like 3 little balls. Have you seen like 3 iron balls? Mm-hmm. And he just fucking breaks out of the prison with 3 little iron balls. He just like sends them around like bolts, like ripping everything to pieces and just like destroys everything. One of them becomes like a little tiny plate, just carries his ass out of there and shit. It's fucking crazy. But that's what I kind of imagined it. If you took a big old big ass magnet, it's like, dude, we're gonna prank this guy, all right, bro? We got this giant magnet right above his head. He's gonna come in here thinking he's on a blind date. We'll have the girl sitting on the table waving, "Hey, babe!" The fucking pumps all the fucking iron out, all the chains.
It's just a skeleton laying there on the ground because it like skinned
couple
him.
Gold fillings and shit.
Dude, it's a prank, bro. It's a fucking prank. He's just dead.
You'd have like metal in your arms or something. It's like pulls everything out of there. It's like, oh. Dude, it's just a prank, bro.
That was a good little snippet, but there's all sorts of shit we talk about in this podcast. You just got to go back and listen to it.
And before you do that, why don't you leave us a little like and maybe a comment if you like us.
What do you guys want us to talk about next?
Leave a negative comment because a comment's a comment. Said